She's bold. She's powerful. She's creative. Although she felt fear, she wanted more out of life, so she did it anyway.
Hi there, my name is Denise and I am originally from London, UK. I'm currently living in St. Lucia. The plan is to spend the majority of my time in St. Lucia, 9 months, and then 3 months out in London. I'm a trained podiatrist, and I've been doing that for, all of my working life, from 21 all the way to this midlife stage of my life right now. Currently, I've retrained as a spiritual life, health, strength, and longevity coach. Going about doing that training, there's a long story behind that, so I'm happy to share more about that. My chronological age, I have a milestone birthday coming up in July, so in 4 months' time I will be 60. And I feel good about that. 60 years young, I'm ready to embrace it. So how I got into my passion, it's a long story. I'll give you the edited version. But as long as I've known myself, I've had a propensity towards health and wellness and fitness. In fact, my earliest memory was when I was 18, 19, and I looked in the mirror and saw a young woman that I didn't have a loving connection with. I looked at a woman that to me felt flat-chested and square in the body. I felt like a 12-year-old schoolboy. And I realized that that wasn't healthy. And I had to find a way so that I could start to embrace and love myself completely. And I heard that if I was to put muscle on my frame, that would actually give me a shape. So around the age of 19, 20, I joined a gym and I never looked back. So I've been working out all my life, and at that point started to gain a more loving relationship with my body. And from that time, other breadcrumbs came along my way. So I was introduced to Taoism. So I studied Tai Chi and Qigong and the 5 elements, and these various different practices. And then in terms of what I'm doing right now, again, knowing that I've always been interested in health and wellness, when it became clear that we were going to relocate to St. Lucia, I figured that this would be a wonderful opportunity to get into a type of work that I can work from anywhere. I don't need a bricks and mortar business. I can be free and independent working online. So I figured, let me be a health coach. So I did my health coach certificate. I did a life coaching certificate as well as a strength training certificate. So I figured I'd put that in a nice, beautiful bubble and bring longevity to midlife women. There were fears that came up for me when we made the decision, we are going to do this. We want to take the leap to relocate to a new country, somewhere sunny, and not have any regrets. So we decided, yes, we're going to jump and do this. And although intellectually the decision was made, emotionally, there was fear. I'm not gonna lie, there certainly was fear. And at the time, I remember thinking to myself, in many ways, it would be easier just maybe to stay as I was. But deep down inside, I knew, God forbid, if anything were to happen to my husband, and we didn't just jump or follow that desire to relocate, I'd be left with regrets. And that was not going to be a part of my dynamics. So having decided that we're going to jump, we're going to make this happen, we actually sold our house. So we had a 4-bedroom, double garage house in London, and we sold it. I think it must have been about 4 months before the pandemic hit. Thank God. because it did mean that we didn't have to think about a mortgage, or we weren't dependent on our jobs. So God is good. Really have to trust and have faith. If you have a deep desire and passion to do something for yourself, align yourself to the universe, the divine, to God, whatever it is that your belief is, and just go for it. Because ultimately, you weren't created to stay small. You were created to follow your desires. So please, I urge you to do that. So having taken the leap and found that we had divine timing on our side, we got the full asking price for our home. The person that bought our house bought the house with all of the belongings, furniture. So we didn't have to ship all of that over with us. And we just took it as a sign that we were on the right track. And then as the pandemic hit, we struck a deal on a property over here in St. Lucia. Again, it was just like a drop dead price, beautiful villa. And the pandemic hit. We secured that deal, and here we were. So the timing, the divine timing, honestly, I think just making the decision, number one, and number two, seeing that, the good Lord cleared the path for us at a time when the whole world were running around like headless chickens, pretty much. We were just getting confirmation after confirmation that we were on the right track. And ultimately, we went with that and trusted our gut. And we're so happy that we did. The work that I now do, when the decision was made, yes, I'm going to do the retraining. Yes, I'm going to get the certifications so that I've got the skills to support people with their health and wellness. Actually, there's a massive difference between being certified and doing the thing. For me, I think the biggest hurdle was the tech. I'm getting a little bit more warmed up towards the tech, but I remember at the time that being a massive mind block for me. And I think if I'm to share anything with anybody out there that wants to do this for themselves, recognize that whatever happens to be your biggest block is the key that's going to open your biggest door. And I'm now coming to the realization now that where that felt like a massive, huge hurdle for me at the beginning has helped to evolve me to be the best possible health coach so I can serve women all over the world. I can now see that. But when I was going into the whole online world, it just felt so massively overwhelming. That's my truth. But now, a year on, I'm in a very, very different place. I would also like to add to that is that those hurdles, again, let's come back to the divine, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it. He is preparing your muscles. He is preparing your mindset and your ability to step up to that next level. And it's not meant to be comfortable. Being born into the world isn't comfortable. Aspects of nature that we see around us confirms that when you are stepping up to the next level, it's going to be as uncomfortable as hell. But when you come out the other side of it, my goodness, imagine that if you were born into the world as a caterpillar and you never had the experience of being the butterfly, because you weren't brave enough to take that next step, you weren't brave enough to just move through the discomfort to learn the tech, you'd never be a butterfly. So I'm so pleased now that I can say that I have broken through the shell of the caterpillar and I'm in a very different place now. So I'm so thankful and grateful for that realization. As a spiritual life, health and strength coach, what I'm realizing is that in midlife, I went through midlife and I saw my peers go through midlife. And what I saw were two camps of women. A camp of women that chose to forge ahead, live their dreams, not listen to the naysayers, choose their own labels if they wanted to use a label, but ultimately there was no square box for them to put themselves into. They were as free as birds. And there was the other camp of women that were listening to the labels, that were attaching negativity to the age that they happened to be, that had the misguided belief that because I am this particular age, my health is going to fall apart and things are going to ache, and I'm going to just break down. And honestly, all of that is a lie. And the more you align yourself to the lie, the more that becomes your reality. And I just felt to myself, I really want to be an example to others that does not have to be anybody's truth, especially for women that look like me. And I feel truly moved and passionate about that. Especially, here's a quote from Oprah. Oprah said that she went through a stage in her life where every birthday deserved to be celebrated. And do you know why? Because a lot of our sisters don't make it. So many women that look like us do not make that next birthday. And oftentimes they've lost their life through a preventable disease. Nobody needs to go through life with aches, pains, or fatal illnesses. It doesn't need to be that way. So with a level of choice, ultimately you can't know what you don't know. So I have chosen from a level of passion to be the spokesperson, to speak about it, email about it, video about it, so that people that look like us know that they've got a choice. They can empower themselves and choose whatever it is they want to do in a body that can support them to do it. I got a download. This was back in 2016. And the download that I got is that if I was relying on Denise to move myself forward, to follow my passions, to create a mission, I might be a long time waiting for that to happen. And the download was, call yourself Sabina Buff. And at the time when I got this connection from the universe, Sabina Buff, who is that? The reply was, that's you. And now I realize, now that I do use the trademark name Sabina Buff, which is the name of my business, it's a little bit like Beyonce using the name Tasha Fiss to get up on stage, to sing the song, to add that extra bit of zest. Sabina Buff is the brave one. She's the one that steps out there and shares her message and just gets courageous. And Denise is in the background kind of powering her on. And as Sabina Buff, I'm able to do the braver thing, to get out there, to speak the message, to be on Instagram, to send the emails, to do the public speaking, and to inform, inspire, and to educate. I've already set up a Facebook group by the name of Fit, Flexible and Pain-Free Woman. So that was set up, oh my gosh, it's coming up a year now. So it's a beautiful small container of midlife women in there that really want to defy the labels. So that's a container that I've created. I'm all over social media. And ultimately, I want to be able to build momentum, have collaborations, and I'm all about supporting other women that are speaking this bigger message. Because ultimately, when we're all on a mission together, all of us get further down the path. So yeah, that's my plan. That's my mission, to have my global message out there by supporting, helping, and being there for other women that are doing the same. So for anyone in the community that may be watching this, inspired by anything that I've said, honestly, if you have been seeded a desire or passion, or you're curious, you have any level of curiosity within you, please please explore it, because ultimately we haven't been created to live indefinitely. We all have an expiry date. Live your best life now. And ultimately, whatever it is that you try, if it doesn't work out, you have the knowing that you tried it. And then you can go and experience something else. But on always having that feeling within you that there's something that you'd love to try, and then you're using reasons and excuses not to explore it, is a waste of your life. Don't do that. Explore it. Speak with a trusted friend. Find somebody else that's doing something that's similar. You don't have to chart the journey on your own. So many communities on Facebook. You can find ways to be supported. Just know and rest assured that being brave, being courageous to just explore wherever that thing is, and making a decision about whether you want to take it further, whether you want to put the seed in the ground and water it so that it can turn into something, is ultimately your decision to make. But watching your life go by, possibly the end of your life, reviewing your life, knowing that there were desires and passions and things that you were curious about that you wanted to explore, and you weren't brave enough to do that, that's your decision to make. Having made brave, courageous decisions myself and seen other women do the same, soar with the eagles. It's so much more fun. And Caroline Meist, she speaks about the 6-story building, and most of us come into the world on the ground level, on maybe the first floor, and we don't know that there's a penthouse. But to get to the penthouse, it's not highly populated up there. There's no pollution. There's beautiful views all around. But ultimately, to get up there, you have to do the brave thing. You have to be courageous. You have to, many times, chart your own path and step away from the herd so that you can fly with the eagle, so that you can live in the penthouse, so that you can rub shoulders and elevate yourself to be the best possible version of you. And I would urge you and invite you to be brave and courageous and explore that for yourself.
She did that.